I'm super amped up to tell you about what's going on astrologically. We are at the beginning of the second eclipse portal of 2025. Yeah, it is a big deal because this one is double Virgo, two new moons, extremely rare. And in the middle, we have a Pisces full moon. Two of those are eclipses. This is really pointing. There's a hot button item, and that's Virgo. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you what are the karmic nodes of destiny? What does this mean for you? Where's it coming through? And what do you have to know about it? What are these 3 steps that we're going to be going through in the eclipse portal? It's basically an introductory video to tell you where we're going with this thing. It's about a month and a half or so that we're looking into. For the next month and a half, we have a lot of shifts going on, big ones. And the 2 new moons bracketing it or like making the sandwich or whatever of this eclipse portal, both being in Virgo, we're in for something big. That's what I love about astrology is that we kind of have a general idea. You know, it's never quite perfectly succinct unless somebody's super psychic. I'm not, but I like knowing there's some general theme that we can look out for. And then that leaves like a surprise, right? This leaves some sort of thing to be delighted by, right? Knowing everything's kind of boring. Like it's fun to not know some things. And so just kind of knowing a general feeling is what we're getting at with this video. I wanted to offer something too at the beginning of the eclipse portal that will be valid throughout the entire period. Last eclipse portal, I offered a discount code for readings, and I'm doing that again. It's only twice a year that I offer this. It will be valid until September 30th for you to purchase, but you can book as far as the scheduling is available. It's going to be a little more than the last discount because my birthday is also in September, and this Virgo thing is so personal to me, and I just want to talk to you. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading and you weren't quite sure, this might be the moment. This might be the time. And the code for you is Eclipse, E-C-L-I-P-S-E. So the opening of this eclipse portal happens August 23rd until September 1st. That's pretty much the opening lines of it. And it's a very potent Virgo-Pisces eclipse portal because there's those 2 double new moons in Virgo and a total lunar eclipse in Pisces, right smack dab in the middle of it. And having 2 new moons in the same sign is just, and in eclipse season, extremely rare. It feels so good for Virgo because it's allowing us to really get down into the nitty gritty of it, you know, like Virgo wants to be so thorough. And 2 new moons here during eclipse season could not be better than that. It's allowing us to experience this full karmic cycle within one sign. It does bridge 2 months, so it's August and September. That's okay. It's still in the Virgo period. So the initiation is going to start at 0 degrees with that first new moon in Virgo, and it culminates in the last one at 29, the anaretic degree of Virgo. Now, this portal is framed by the outer planets. This minor triangle is perfecting during this first new moon. And the first new moon in Virgo is going to get a Uranus square. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. Just know that there's something unexpected. Something new is coming in. It might be disruptive. And at the end, the new moon is going to be opposing Saturn. Saturn will have entered back into Pisces for its last little toe dip in there. And the north and south nodes are going to give us this roadmap throughout the whole thing to help us embrace change and move on into the future. The karmic nodes of destiny. These look like 2 little horseshoes, and I think of them as an Ouroboros, right? When they meet together, that's when they complete that duality, the duality of the 2 signs. They're always in 2 opposite signs. So Virgo and Pisces are opposite on the zodiac. They fulfill each other. They're like yin and yang. They need each other. They represent different things, but on the same theme, the same topics, like a coin, right? One side is the head, one side is the tail, but they're both the same coin. Virgo is about refinement and practical action, discernment, being very careful and making sure things get purified. And then Pisces is intuition, it's compassion, it's spiritual awareness, it's receptivity. They both are harvest energies. One is spiritual, one is material. And they're asking us to balance these 2 things together. That spirituality with very grounded, purposeful pursuits. The deal with Virgo, where we can go down the hill with that, is being too much, what's the saying? Like, you don't see the forest for the trees or something. How's that one go? It's like, you're so focused on the tree that you don't see the forest. And then Pisces is the opposite. It's so focused on the forest, it doesn't see the individual trees. I hope that makes sense. So we're turning those 2 things into both. Like, okay, there's trees. And there's a forest. That's kind of the point. Turning that insight into wisdom that we have, that we can integrate it into our lives and harvest something, not being too far into the material, criticizing and just materialism, even that concept philosophically, that materialism, it's devoid of spirituality. And then on the opposite side, the Pisces that gets too far into the woo and not grounded at all, that's where it can get to, where it's the opposite of materialism. Hyper spiritualism, maybe. If you have Virgo and Pisces as your south node, north node, guarantee you're going to be feeling this even more. But there's closing and openings happening in all of our lives. Whether you have any Virgo or Pisces energy that you know of, we all have it in our chart somewhere. So there's an area of life that's getting some closure and some opening on the other end of that polarity. All right, step one, we're going to start with this new moon, the first one that we get, the Virgo new moon on August 23rd at 0 degrees Virgo. It's the initiation point. It's the beginning. It's an opening to Virgo energy that is going to emphasize those topics: organization, clarity, routines, health service, refinement, organization. But with it being the south node, we know it's about releasing some of that. That's really nice for Virgo because there's a lot of responsibility, the heaviness that Virgo feels to get everything right, to do things the right way, to reach towards perfection, which, as we all know, logically, rationally, does not exist in this realm. That's the thing about Virgo. It sees the perfectionism. It's got that little, like the yin and yang, it's got that little dot of Pisces in it, which is what sees the great beyond, the great spiritual connection. Virgo sees it and wants it to bring it into this material realm. So that's the desire. So this is an opening here where we're going to be maybe getting some disruption, some destabilization, breakthroughs, because there's a square to Uranus. That's an awakening moment. Now, don't be afraid. Uranus is not to be afraid of. It's kind of like a dog. Dogs have a sixth sense, and especially big sort of quote unquote scary dogs. A lot of times they can feel it. If you're afraid of them or if somebody's afraid of that dog, then it manifests. It's like this transference of energy. It knows you're scared of it. So it's like, okay, I will be scary. You expect that? That's what I'll be. But if you're not afraid of the dog, then it has a calmed energy. It's like, okay, we can move forward and I'm not going to scare you or bite you or do anything weird to you. That's what Uranus is. It's like Uranus knows if you're going to be rejecting it, it's going to cause disruption. But if you can embrace Uranus, even in its challenges, it leads to revelation and rebellion in a way that liberates. It's a liberator. What this is going to break up is some old Virgo routines, maybe that you have, some self-criticism, perfectionism in that area of your life. Old structures are ready to shift. And change is needed in this area of your life, and Uranus is a catalyst for that transformation. The next point of destination will be on September 7th. That's the total lunar eclipse in Pisces. That is going to be an emotional moment, something perhaps that opens up in this portal with the Virgo closure and the destabilization. Revelation comes during a full moon. Something is revealed, something is shown to us, and it's going to be in that Pisces. It's a karmic midpoint of the cycle, but it's the first Pisces eclipse that we're getting here. So it's even more exciting. It's a new opening, even though something is illuminating some hidden dynamics, something that needs to catalyze or transform in that area of life. Newness is coming here. So Pisces themes, things that we need to embrace: compassion and empathy. It's one of the beauties of Pisces. Emotional awareness, intuition, spiritual insights, allowing those things to come through us in a creativity and flow to connect to something bigger than ourselves. That's what's going to get us through in this next period. It's bizarro land that we're going into. So being aware of a Piscean connection that's personal to you. That's beautiful that this is what's opening. Pisces has also got that same thing that Virgo has, right? It's the other side of the coin. So it has the yang, yin and yang, and that little dot of materialism. Pisces is in this world a little bit, and it sees so much more that we can be and reach for, but it has to stay grounded in the material world as well. Step 3 of the portal comes with the second Virgo new moon, September 21st, and that is at 29 degrees Virgo. It's a solar eclipse. It's not a full solar eclipse. It's a partial, which is kind of cool, I think, because it's not going to be overwhelming like a full total eclipse in Aries. And now we're going into this crazy Aries stuff with the conjunction in February of Saturn and Neptune. I think there's huge stuff in that. So this Virgo thing is way more gentle. With Saturn in opposition, Saturn will have just entered back. It'll be at 29 degrees. I've brought up the Goonies multiple times with Saturn in Pisces and Mikey's marble bag of jewels that saved the day in the end. I keep thinking of Saturn like that in Pisces. It's like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing here. There's a lot of treasure. It's confusing. It's too much. I'm not sure, but I have this bag. And I have this bindle, and I can get rid of these marbles that are not really needed now, and I'll put some jewels in and I'll bring them forward. How do we want to structure our spiritual connection to something bigger than us? What are we going to do here? How are we going to make that happen? So we can reflect on those things during that second new moon and put the more intentions. Kind of like we take that whole story of what we've learned since August 23rd to the end of September, and say, okay, we've gotten this story and now we're ready to move forward with something very practical and spiritual. So house personalization, where is your Virgo house? That's where your endings, the refinements are going to happen, where it's going to manifest. And for example, like if it's 6th house, it's going to be your daily routines, your health. Your 10th house is going to be career. It's going to be your public life. I always like to point you to that Demetra George. It's very simple. It shows you the house topics, and you can get PDF on my website, elnatalia.com, or I'll just put one up on the screen right now. And then the Pisces house for you, where is that? Where is something opening for you? Where's your spiritual insight coming through? Where will be the flow manifesting? That's, for example, 4th house, maybe if it's your home and your family. If it's your 12th house, subconscious patterns, spirituality. I love that 12th house. It's very expansive and interesting there. So that's where you can look at it and see where these openings and closings are going to be happening for you in your life. This is a super Virgo time, so how can I not leave you with something practical? How to work with this portal. We're going to get into them specifically, but an overview. That's what we're doing here, right? Just an overview. August 23rd, that's our new moon in Virgo. That's setting intentions for clarity, for openings, for not being judgmental, to be open to shifts and changes and be like, okay, if something is disruptive, I'm going to see it as a message, as a sign. September 7th, that will be our Pisces full moon and our total lunar eclipse. That's going to be reflecting that emotional, like really go out and look at that beautiful moon, man. That's what I'm going to do. Releasing any emotional things that are holding us back from connecting to spirituality in a very personal, one-on-one way. Cultivating compassion, receptivity, surrender to it. Meditate, journal, all those good things that everybody always says to do. It's really nice ritual in this period, and be ready. Just be ready to feel that flow of energy, of spirituality. September 21st, our bookend, our second new moon in Virgo, 29 degrees. This will be a culmination. It's like reading a book and getting to the end and just be like, dang, that was a good book. I wish it wasn't over. I think that's how it's going to feel, right? And then you're ready for something new, a new book to open up. How to deal with that, anchor into your new insights. What did you learn during this period? Where do you want to practically apply your spiritual practices? I love this part of the video because if you're still here, if you're listening to this, then I can get a little bit deeper into something that meaningful to maybe both of us. And the music I always listen to a song that comes out. It's very spontaneous. I don't know what it's going to be, but I always do it right before I start a video. The music for this video was I Saw the Light by Todd Rundgren. It's about a moment, a profound realization when somebody gets this deep connection of truth. It's a moment of clarity, of discovery. It's a moment of understanding and connection. And that's what I'm hoping this eclipse portal is for you and for me, for everybody, for this world. And not running from strong emotions, not becoming overwhelmed by them, or to be chasing away this spiritual thing that's available. It's inside of us. It's there. But knowing that something else has to go in order to reach that. And maybe it's self-criticism, maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's being alone, like maybe we need to connect with other people and have these communications with solidification. Seeing the light in someone else's eyes helps us see the light inside of us. It's just sort of beautiful, right? The reflection, the eyes. The eyes are representative in astrology of the sun and the moon as well. And this whole eclipse thing is a dance between the sun and the moon. A lot of times in this modern world, we're so separated. We're so separated from actual connection, community, and other people. I think the message in this song is to see the light in someone else's eyes and be surprised by that and awe and bliss, because that's where we see a reflection of ourselves. And when we see that inside of ourselves through another person, we're seeing spirit, we're seeing God. Yeah. I like you just the way you are, and I will talk to you next time.